The Walt Disney Company was forced to take down a post on Threads and Instagram, and all because of an avalanche of woke responses as Disney searched out for quotes people love from Disney movies. Well, when it's all about the Orange Man, when it's all about the deranged views of ice, let's just say things weren't nice, and the House of Mouse was trending for every reason they don't want to be. Today, we'll show you what was being said. We've got the receipts in hand. You don't want to miss this one. It's egg in the face of the House of Mouse. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel that continues to give you the news that, well, some folks just don't want to cover. But we're happy to go there. We're pleased, in fact, because every day we're bringing the facts to you. Folks, all we ask in return is that you click the like button, drop a comment down below, and let us know your thoughts. And if you see that hype button, the time is always ripe to hit the hype. The Walt Disney Company had a real big surprise, ladies and gentlemen, and try as they might, it turns out that when you put stuff out on Threads or Blue Sky, well, you're going to have a bad time. And they had a bad time. I have no chance of pronouncing the names of these authors correctly, and I just like to state that for the record and let it be. Unless anybody here can pronounce these for me, a panel, anybody want to give a shot at Cornelisia Vacate or whatever this is? I mean, Mindaugas Balchiauskas. Anybody got a chance on it? No?
Do that last one again. I liked it.
That was amazing.
Mindaugas Balchiauskas.
You got it, dude.
You're going to be careful. You're going to unleash
All
some
the
kind of Harry
second one's
Potter.
Balky, and
I like that. Andy says it's a Harry Potter spell.
yeah, there you go.
Well, we're courteous here, folks. If you came in, listen,
Wingardium Leviosa.
real highbrow stuff right now. We're mocking. We wouldn't do that. No, we shall not. Disney tries to start a fun thread, but deletes it when it goes unexpectedly wrong and backfires. And the backfire here is along the same lines of Amelia out of the UK, I would say. Let's just see what it says. Social media changed the marketing game forever. Thank you for the obvious. We needed that. Nowadays, brands gain popularity and street cred by engaging with folks in comment sections and through relatable posts. It's estimated that when brands reply to comments on Threads, it boosts their engagement by 42%, which is to say it reaches almost 1% of the overall viewership of if it was on X instead. However, some posts on social media can turn against big brands, and that's exactly what recently happened at Disney. Quote, share a Disney quote that sums up how you're feeling right now. They prompted their fans. Remember, though, this wasn't on X where things are fairly, 50-50, conservatives and liberals. This wasn't on Facebook where it might even skew a little conservative. This was on Threads, which is right there with Blue Sky in being the cray-cray land of superlib. And how did that go when Disney wanted to know their favorite quotes? Well, let's just say Disney had to delete the post. And why? It says the answers were not what they expected. Here's the thing. Here's what Disney posted on Threads. Share a Disney quote. And here's what they got. Number 1, from Barbie, authority should derive from consent of the governed, not from threat of force. Okay, well, that's interesting. Number 2, these white dudes are dangerous, from Pocahontas. Number 3, these are all, by the way, folks, these are all imagining that the Orange Man and the patriarchy and the white peeps are a real problem. You let one ant stand up to us, and they might all stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if we ever let them figure that out, there goes our way of life. Now, Disney was expecting, happy, Mickey Mouse quotes and that kind of stuff. Silence, justice. We can keep going. The human world is a mess. And okay, we finally got one that's fun. There seems to be no sign of intelligent life here. I want to go to this content creator here. He's got the good stuff here. Folks, I highly recommend you go check him out. We're going to play his, and I'll tell you his name in just a second, but here's what he had to say. I don't want to move the mouse lest we lose him, so we'll play his comment, his rundown on the thing, and then we'll talk about it.
In a stunning display of a lack of self-awareness, Disney has just screwed up. Twice, actually. You see, yesterday on Threads, the official Disney account posted this. Share a #Disney quote that sums up how you're feeling right now. And I don't think they took into consideration the ramifications of what they were asking. Because, oh boy, did the people respond. These white men are dangerous. Silence, justice. The human world is a mess. Authority should derive from consent of the governed, not from the threat of force. Death to tyrants.
We'll pause there. Death to tyrants. What's his name? It's get back up there. Politico Joe. Politico Joe, folks. Go check him out. Politico Joe. So Disney had to delete the thing because they posted it on Threads. Culture, I go to you first on this. Disney, it's not just that people did this, it's that it was a deluge. They were inundated with far left slogans derived from Disney movies, taken out of context to justify all kinds of things. And finally, Disney had to cave in, and run tail tucked between legs away from this. Why are they on places like Threads and Blue Sky? Nobody's there except people who will do this sort of thing, culture.
Well, and that's the problem, is like Disney is only aligned with one side of the culture, which we've been calling out, on various channels for quite some time. They've become very anti-American and anti-United States, and they're doing that even in their theme parks, most especially in Florida currently. So since those are the people they align with, and those are the people that promote Disney directly to their audiences, as limited as they are, they're going to be on those platforms and in those spaces. So Disney feels like, we can post things in friendly spaces and get friendly return fire, except that it was friendly fire, just not what they expected.
Yes. But the funny thing about it is Disney, and I'm assuming this is an intern, Disney didn't see this coming. Obviously, or else they wouldn't have had to delete it. They don't understand the people that they're reaching out to and what they believe. Clearly.
I have to ask a question, Pro, and to anybody else here that's familiar with Zunia Muncha, who used to be the head of Disney Communications, basically. And why this was never an issue when she was running things in a little bit tighter of a ship.
Well, I mean, she was fine. I just think this is an intern who, I don't know if they were preempting this, if they preempted it on purpose to try to get these kinds of responses, but I don't think so. I think this is probably like a 19-year-old kid who, has been hired, and they post this with no idea that they're about to unleash the whirlwind of hate. It's all about Trump. It's all about politics. Everything on Threads, because these platforms only exist for this. So as you've got stuff like, I don't know if this came from, I don't know if this is Brandy from the Cinderella version. I don't know. But yeah. I will never kneel to a tyrant. And I can scroll up. Folks, you ready for another one? If we scroll up, there's another thing they were doing from The Sound of Music. My favorite quote is the sound the flag makes when it rips. This is what the obsession is about. And so long as Disney wants to pretend like X is a place of, backwardness, and they want to be on Blue Sky and Threads, this is who they're going to be sending the message out to, and they'll be subverted.
Yeah, that was an innocent 2008 Facebook post that they were going with. It was like a kind of a lead to just drum up a casual engagement. Like whoever posted that was anticipating that somebody was going to post Heimlich from A Bug's Life and say, "I'm a beautiful butterfly." Like that's how innocent they were. I think that they were going with a post like that. But as you were saying, Pro, like these platforms are just filled with vitriol and negativity and the downright hatred, right? There's just downright hatred on these platforms, and that's what these platforms thrive on. It was discussed many years back when Donald Trump was launching Truth Social, which I don't have an account on. I never haven't had an account on, but there was marketing analytics people at the time who were saying things like Truth Social's never going to work because it would be too boring. There's no way that enough people of that mindset would just want to be isolated in a silo like that. There's no way Truth Social would work. Taking a look over here, we look at Blue Sky and we look at Threads, and these people are having the time of their sad lives here. And that's pretty compelling that people do. Some of these folks just want to live in that silo. And that's sad. And there's no way that you can try to convince them to come out of it. They are so bought into this hate-filled mindset that even asking them questions, if you ask a question that goes against the narrative, you're well, they don't like they don't like you.
Yeah, you're excommunicated. Like you. You're excommunicado because you're outside the orthodoxy. There is no redemption path within their quasi-religion. By the way, folks, I'm down to number 26. In the background, I've been scrolling through these. We have found literally 2 in the top 26 that were, just mundane. Here you go, though, from Queenovism. Don't scare me like that, colonizer, from Black Panther. I believe that's Wakanda Forever. You just keep going. This was everything Disney had responded to them. It is post after post after post after post of this kind of stuff. They didn't get anything else. They didn't get Cinderella. They didn't get Snow White with the sappy, syrupy stuff that they thought they would get. They got anti-colonization. Lauren, they even got, I showed it earlier, the Star Wars one where they say, where Obi-Wan says you don't need to see his identification, which is an ICE reference. Of course, it's not really an ICE reference, but they're using that now. And this is the problem for Disney is if they sit on these platforms, that's all that exists there.
Yeah.
You want to do something fun? I'm so sorry, Lord. I had this like ADHD kicking. You want to do
I'm
something
outraged.
in the comments right now, folks? Whether you're watching at home, you tell us how your day is by using Disney quotes. And I bet it's going to be immensely positive. It's a Spock chair thing all over again. You could do it right now. Tell us how your day is with Disney quotes. I'm so sorry, Lauren.
No. Hang on. Before we go to Lauren, you brought up Spock. He needs to have a chance to speak. There you go, folks. It works for Nerdrotic. It's going to work for us. Go ahead, Lauren.
I was thinking about how to respond to the question that you're talking about, and what stuck in my mind was the idea of people being stuck in their silos. Are you guys familiar with the Universe 25 experiment that was conducted with mice some time ago?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
I usually know these things, and I am not ringing a bell on that one. What is it?
Okay, well, it would be complicated to explain over a given period of time, but it was an experiment that was developed to try and see what would happen if you had a community of mice that was given absolutely everything that they required to be healthy and happy.
Yep.
And what happened was the entire mouse population segregated and collapsed in different ways.
Yep.
Female mice started acting extremely aggressive and started eating their young.
Yep.
Some of the male mice ended up listless and depressed and kept to themselves.
This is, by the way, Lauren, to interrupt you as Real Life Fake Wizard did, so I'm blaming this on him. This is actually my greatest fear about AI, and when they're talking about the forthcoming utopia and how, you'll have, what are they calling it? It's not universal, it's universal high income. Not basic income, universal high income.
Yeah.
This is one of my fears is I don't know what happens if people don't have challenges. Go ahead with how you're connecting this with Disney and Threads.
Well, there were some other mice that were that they described as the beautiful ones that became obsessed with just grooming themselves, and they became genetically superior.
I want you to stop talking about Andy Masterson and the Spock action figure right now, sir.
The point is that honestly, there's a lot of parallels that you can see happening in our society right now, and you can argue that it's for the same reason. I love that, Andy. You're funny. But this is where, I mean, there's always going to be some question as to how well you can map experiments in mice and environmental conditions to scaling that out to world levels. But on the other hand, when you look at society as it exists right now, a lot of people are self-selecting and putting themselves in their own boxes and responding accordingly. And you could argue that's because we've got it too good.
And it's not dissimilar from the other experiment that was done where they had people role play prisoners and guards. They were trying to figure out, like, how is it that you can devolve into what we saw in World War II? And what they discovered was once you categorize people differently, all bets are off on how you treat them. Like you'll dehumanize rather quickly. Andy, I want to go to you. No, Culture. No, you're in red and you just can't get that out of it. No, we'll go to you first, Culture. Go ahead.
I'll just say that you do it every day. You may not even realize it. On your ride to work, even if it's Spock, you look at the car in front of you and that's not a person. That's an inconvenience in your way.
That's deep, Culture.
I'm just saying.
That's deep. I'm going to pause on that. Hey, Andy, keep us going, buddy. Culture setting the tone.
Well, look at Blue Sky. That whole purpose of that thing to exist is that they couldn't deal with people on Twitter disagreeing with them, so they went over and migrated to Blue Sky. It was different when you had the moderators that would not allow a differing opinion, and they had carte blanche. But you see the lack of emotional control. It's really you need that struggle in life to help you become a well-balanced human being. You need that challenge to become something better than just like the mediocre, base level, lowest common denominator being. And they've been taught that it's you're just perfect the way you are. You don't have to excel. You don't have to aspire to be anything. And
hold on a second, Andy. Let me add to that real quick if I can. This is what we saw with Ray and with the other girl boss movies. The problem is they inverted the hero's journey. And what they did is, rather than the hero's journey where the hero has to overcome the challenges the world presents, and that, by the way, is the whole point of storytelling, because then you role play yourself as that character and you face the dragon metaphorically before the literal dragon faces you in the real world. What they did for 10 years in Hollywood, or 15 years with the girl boss idea, was they said, okay, the character will start off perfect, the world will be imperfect, and the world will have to figure out how to accept the challenge of the divinity, essentially, the perfection of this main character.
Yeah, ironically, we're starting to see some examples of people finding out real life consequences of things. It's you're not just mouthing off in front of a keyboard, and you're putting yourself out there in real life. And I grew up like right here next to Philly, so we learned pretty quickly, if you open your mouth to the wrong person, somebody would shut it for you. And a lot of these people haven't learned that, and they think that the real world is about their feelings and things. It's like, but it's not. It's like, that doesn't pay your bills. Mamdami can talk all he wants about how he wants to give away things for free, but really it's if you had everything you wanted, you would be a horrible person. You would just be.
But Miss Rachel agrees with him, Andy. But Miss Rachel says,
look, how about this? Because to spin off of what Andy is saying, think about the reality that these people have to build for themselves. That is, purely delusion. Because the first thing that the quote unquote wife for that good lady who decided that her pilot was equal to a law enforcement officer, and he was worthy of, taking a run at with that car.
Well, let's just put it this way, Culture. Things typically, whatever your politics are, nobody's recommending to their teenager that if you are being detained by law enforcement with agents all around you, that the gas pedal is your friend. There's not a single parent out there that's telling their teenager that's a good way to go.
But at the same time, the wife person was like, oh my gosh, you're using real bullets.
As opposed to, metaphysical.
And that's the problem. They have this delusion that, the objective reality isn't. And, there are no consequences for acting a fool. And that's what Andy's talking about. When we were growing up, somebody would close your mouth.
Although we're not frivolously talking about the good woman. I'll just say this: when it comes to, like, when Culture says shut your mouth, we're not saying that way. We're just saying if there was an argument on the street, there was a chance you get beat if you said something wrong to a bigger guy, or the spunky guy that you didn't realize was like a little spider monkey when you made him mad. Folks, we'll leave it there for now, but I'll just say this: you came here. It could have been very easy for us to just diss Disney and to make fun of all this, and instead, we went somewhere deep. We talked about stuff that matters, and who knows, maybe after this chatter, you've got some things to take away and think about. I know we do. We'll talk about more of it, and why Disney is in these vapid places like Blue Sky and Threads, even more in the days to come. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video. Well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. To keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollyweird each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.